Okay, so now let us discuss wrist joint. So this sometimes even wrist joint also can come as 5 marks question. So it's also called as radiocarpal joint. Okay. Now you are supposed to just recollect the names of the bones what we have in the wrist joint, this area. Okay, we have proximal row of bones and distal row of bones. I gave you one code, right? From lateral to medial side, she looks too pretty. Try to catch her, isn't it? So S is standing for scaphoid. Then we have lunate, then triquetrum, and then pisiform. Okay, this is in proximal row. Then in the distal row, from lateral to medial side, we have trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate. Okay, so these are the bones what we have, the distal row of the carpal bones. Now, so now let us see. This is again the list. Now, if you observe, I told you inferior aspect of radius has how many surfaces? 5 surfaces, I said, no? Anterior it has, behind you have posterior, this becomes medial, this side becomes lateral. Towards medial side, we have ulnar notch in the radius, no? Like that. This is inferior surface. If you remember, I told you inferior surface of the radius is articulating with 2 bones. Just try to remember this code, SL. Okay? So, that is scaphoid and lunate. Okay, it articulates here. That is the these are the bones which are actually participating in the formation of wrist joint. Okay, now we will elaborate more. So like any other joint, basically what we should see better, what type of joint it is, like what are the bones involved. Outermost covering would be capsule. Around the capsule thickenings will be ligaments. What are the various movements performed and applied aspect. So now, what are the bones which are involved? See here, just now I told you radius lower end has 5 surfaces, right? So this is the inferior aspect of the radius bone. I asked you to remember this code SL. So distal articular surface of the radius is actually articulating with scaphoid, lunate, and a part of triquetral bones. Okay, and inferiorly, just now we have studied about inferior radio-ulnar joint, isn't it? Where the head of the radius is articulating, sorry, head of the ulna is articulating with the ulnar notch in the radius, isn't it? There I said we have an intra-articular disc also. You can see the disc very clearly. So articulation is distal articular surface of the radius, the articular disc of inferior radio-ulnar joint above, and lower down you have 3 bones. That is scaphoid, lunate, and triquetral. Okay, that is, this is again Vishram Singh's picture you are finding. Here the disc is shown more clearly. Head is very clear. Now the 2 bones are as though they are disarticulated to show clearly the head of the ulna. Okay, what is this projection called as, beta? Name is same, that's why I am pointing the arrow in both the sides. Chavi, what is this projection?
Styloid process.
Styloid process. Okay, where else do we find styloid? Styloid process is a 3 marks question. Suppose if this question comes, where else do we find styloid process? We also find in the skull bone.
Skull bone, yeah.
Isn't it? Styloid apparatus, stylohyoid, styloglossus, stylopharyngeus word has come. Here in the lower end of the radius ulna also we use the word styloid process. If you write that or this, anyhow, if you write all the 3, full marks you will get. Anyhow, it's a 3 marks question. Okay. So now wrist joint, it's a synovial type of ellipsoid variety of joint. Okay. Then, so the outermost covering will be the capsular ligament. Inside lining of the capsular ligament is synovial membrane. Like we found the radial and ulnar collateral ligaments were the names which we used for like elbow joint. The same names here also we are using, the radial and ulnar collateral ligament. Okay, always without reading also always you should think like the margins of the bones are giving attachment to the capsular ligament. Margins. edges. Okay, now see here. See, capsular ligament is nothing but the capsule. It is surrounding the joint, attached closely to the peripheral margins of both articular surfaces, including articular disc. Head of the ulna is excluded. Okay, because why it is excluded? Head of the ulna is excluded. It is not taking part in the formation of joint because of the presence of articular disc, which is separating the wrist joint from the head of the ulna. Okay, beta? That is the meaning of this sentence. So that is, so head of the ulna, please remember, it may be asked in Viva also. Is the head of ulna involved in the formation of wrist joint? Say no. Okay, it is excluded from the joint because of the presence of the articular disc. Okay, now the thickening of the ligament which we see from the palmar aspect in the capsule, you call it as palmar radiocarpal ligament. The thickening what we see behind over the capsule, you call it as dorsal radiocarpal ligament. Okay, so anteriorly we have palmar, I'll show you palmar radiocarpal ligament, posteriorly dorsal radiocarpal ligament. Okay, so this is palmar aspect. So you call it as palmar radiocarpal ligament, the one which is in orange or red color. Behind will be dorsal radiocarpal ligament. Ulna is not involved. See, head of the ulna is excluded because of the presence of articular disc. Okay, now see here. Apart from that, we also have this yellow in color. We have radial collateral ligament. Okay, in green color we are shown ulnar collateral ligament. So radial collateral ligament is extending from the styloid process of the radius to the scaphoid and trapezium. I think Ritika. So you are finding, please remember these attachments. Radial collateral is from the styloid process of the radius to the scaphoid and trapezium. Okay, then ulnar collateral ligament is running from the styloid process of the ulna to the triquetrum and pisiform bones. Okay, these are. So palmar radiocarpal ligament is broad membranous band attached above to the anterior margin of the lower end of the radius. Okay, and the styloid process and to the front of the lower end of the ulna. Okay, the fibers are passing downwards and they are getting inserted into the palmar surface of the scaphoid and lunate. Some of the fibers may also go to the capitate bone. Okay, so dorsal is seen behind. So this is less thick and strong than the palmar ligament. The ligament is beginning at the lower end of the radius bone. Expanded one is radius. Fibers are again directed downwards. They are coming towards midline. That's why medially. And they are getting attached to scaphoid and lunate. Okay. The ulnar collateral ligament is something like a rounded cord attached above to the styloid process of ulna, below to the triquetrum and pisiform. Okay. So radial collateral ligament is again on the thickening on the lateral aspect, extending from the styloid process of the radius to the scaphoid and trapezium. If you can practice this picture and if you can remember these labelings, you can write in your own words better. Okay. So this is Vishram Singh's picture, what you are seeing, palmar radiocarpal and dorsal radiocarpal ligament. This is ulnar collateral ligament and this white is the radial collateral ligament. Okay. Now, if you remember the flexor group of muscles, whatever we find in front are all anterior relations. So what do we have? Beta flexor carpi radialis, okay, palmaris longus, flexor carpi ulnaris, isn't it? They are forming the, not only that, you can write so many, in fact, flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor digitorum profundus, flexor pollicis longus, all these are moving in front only. Okay, not only that, we saw radial artery, we saw ulnar artery, we saw radial nerve, median nerve, ulnar nerve, so many we saw over here. So they all form. You just try to recollect what we have studied till now. You can write in your own words, anterior. Then what may be the posterior relations? All extensors, isn't it? That is. You remember those 6 compartments what I told you, which divides into like extensor retinaculum. From there lower down we have the septa dividing into 6 compartments. Okay, just go through once. Okay, that is all posterior relations. Okay, so lateral to medial, what do we have? Abductor pollicis, then extensor pollicis brevis, extensor carpi radialis longus, radialis brevis, extensor pollicis longus, extensor digitorum, extensor indicis. Okay, so posterior interosseous artery, interosseous nerve. Okay, so that is extensor digitum. All extensor muscles you write better. All extensors, whatever we have studied, they are seen in the posterior compartment. Okay, posterior interosseous nerve. It's nothing but branch of which nerve? Radial nerve.
Radio.
Now, do you remember the superficial and deep palmar arches? Okay, try to review once. Okay, so that means the recurrent branches which are coming from here, they form carpal arch, I said. Okay, from anterior aspect, anterior carpal arch, behind you have the posterior carpal arch. Okay, so nerve supply is anterior and posterior interosseous nerves. So what are the various movements possible, beta? You can see here flexion, extension, then we have ulnar deviation, okay, and then we have radial deviation. Okay, ulnar deviation is nothing but adduction, radial deviation is nothing but abduction. If you can rotate it more, you call it as circumduction. Okay, so what are the various muscles bringing about this movement? This is taken from Vishram Singh beta, easy for you to memorize. In fact, for flexion we have flexor carpi radialis, flexor carpi ulnaris, palmaris longus. Extension, extensor group of muscles. Extensor carpi radialis longus, radialis brevis, extensor carpi ulnaris. Adduction, flexor carpi ulnaris, extensor carpi ulnaris. Abduction, flexor carpi radialis, extensor carpi radialis longus brevis, and abductor pollicis longus. Okay, so if you can remember in this way, again this is the same list what I have kept in fact. Okay, so range of movement is not of course so much required, but flexion can allow how much? Up to 60 degrees. Extension is little less, 50 degrees. Abduction is 15. Adduction is more, 50 degrees. Okay, now coming to the injuries of this wrist joint. Just now we have studied 2 fractures, no beta, lower end. What were those 2 fractures? We have studied with the inferior radioulnar joint, Colles fracture.
Smiths and Colles.
Yeah, Colles fracture and Smith's fracture. Okay, just now whatever we have discussed. Fall on outstretched hand, distal end of the radius. You will see the transverse fracture line. Okay, lower fragment is displaced upwards and backwards. There I have used the word posteriorly. Okay, this type of deformity is called as dinner fork deformity. Okay, it is something like this. Quite opposite to that, we have Smith's fracture. Okay, that is reverse of Colles fall on the back of the hand. Then distal fragment is displaced anteriorly and upwards. So sometimes you will see there is formation of a cyst. Already I told you all joints, the outermost covering is capsule, inside lining is synovial membrane. So sometimes there may be cyst formed, okay, if there is any infection. And apart from that, what nerve do we find here, beta? This area? Radial nerve, isn't it? So at that area, that in the ganglion, surrounding the ganglion, if you find the cyst is formed, then you call it as ganglion cyst. Okay, so which is seen on the dorsum of the hand, like at the level of wrist joint. Okay, it may be caused due to some joint trauma. So after that, even this is either 5 marks or 3 marks question beta. The last topic in the upper limb, that is the first carpo-metacarpal joint. Okay, first carpo-metacarpal joint, very, very important. So how is this joint formed? See here. So it is saddle type, that means reciprocally concavo-convex surfaces we find with the trapezium and the metacarpal bone base. Okay, that is the proximal end. So saddle or cellular type of synovial joint, it permits greater range of movements. Actually, opposition type of movement, what we do is possible because of the presence of the saddle type of joint. Okay, so this is the only joint among all carpometacarpal joints, is the only joint which has a separate joint cavity. Okay, the articular surfaces are which bone? Proximally we are finding trapezium, which is like showing a saddle shape, and the articular surface of the first metacarpal bone. Okay, this one, the two blue areas. So this is the like first carpo-metacarpal joint. Okay, so this trapezium and the base of the first metacarpal bone, in between you will see the first carpo-metacarpal joint. Okay, then so like any other joint, what do we have? Beta, outermost covering, both from the trapezium and also from the, see, at the margins of the trapezium and at the margins of the lower end of the first metacarpal bone, you will see the attachment of fibrous capsule. Inside you will have same synovial membrane, though it's such a small joint. Okay, capsular ligament with synovial membrane, loose but strong, attached to the articular surface of trapezium and base of the first metacarpal bone. Okay, lateral thickening, you call it as lateral ligament. Dorsal thickening, you call it as dorsal ligament. Palmar thickening, you call it as palmar ligament. Okay, that is. So lateral ligament attached to the lateral surface of trapezium and lateral side of the base of the first metacarpal. Dorsal on the dorsum and palmar ligament is on the palmar aspect. Okay, both dorsal and palmar are oblique bands. They are extending from the trapezium to the medial side of the base of the first metacarpal bone. One is from dorsal aspect and the other is from palmar aspect. Both are actually converging. Okay, so on the medial side of the base of the first metacarpal bone, like this. Okay, now relations. What are these muscles, beta? Thenar or hypothenar? Thumb, T and T. Thenar group. Okay. Beta, Hansraj, can you name these muscles?
Abductor pollicis.
A for है ना?
This is abductor.
हाँ, abductor pollicis brevis, flexor pollicis and opponents. Deep
Opponents.
inside, इसके नीचे और एक है ना, कौन सी है?
Adductor.
Very good.
Transverse.
हाँ, oblique head and transverse head. Very good, very good. Okay. Then posteriorly, you have extensor pollicis, longus and brevis. Then laterally we have adductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis. They take part in the formation of this anatomical snuff box. Medially, you will see the first dorsal interossei and the entry of radial artery. Apart from radial artery, what do we find in the snuff box, beta?
Cephalic vein, median nerve.
Which one, beta?
Snuff box, cephalic vein, median nerve.
Median no, beta, radial. Thumb no.
Sorry, radial nerve, cephalic vein.
Superficial branch of radial nerve and cephalic
radial nerve,
vein.
cephalic vein.
Very good. And the radial artery. The pulse, what you check is here, isn't it? Radial artery, radial nerve, like that you remember. Movements very easy. Flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, circumduction, opposition. Okay, everything is shown in fact. Conjunct, medial and lateral rotation. All movements are shown here. Okay, but before that you just see. Flexion, flexor muscles, like that you remember. Flexor pollicis brevis, opponents pollicis. Extension, extensor pollicis brevis, longus. Abduction, it should start with abductor because it is thumb, pollicis word should be there, longus and brevis. You try to remember. Adduction, adductor pollicis. Opposition, opponents pollicis and flexor pollicis brevis. Okay, beta? This is flexion, this is abduction, adduction, extension, opposition. Okay, that is. Again, muscles are written. Now we need not repeat so many times. Again, from this picture also list is given. What are the muscles? Just now you were telling me, like in the anatomical snuff box, we have radial artery, right? So this is the radial artery which is going this side. Nerves are there in that aspect. Which nerve? Emma was telling us.
Superficial branch, radial nerve.
But by mistake you said median nerve also, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so median nerve is actually giving a twig like this. Okay. So that means palmar aspect. From the palmar aspect, it is receiving the nerve supply. Okay, that is. So then see here, first carpometacarpal joint may degenerate with age, okay, and it may be very painful also, okay. You call it as de Quervain's tenosynovitis, okay. So these are the muscles, extensor pollicis brevis and abductor pollicis longus inflammation, okay. So hope you understood. Okay, beta. So be prepared.